Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Saturday, July 26, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in Major League Baseball, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Saturday, Major League Baseball. First up, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the New York Yankees. We've got Ranger Suarez and Marcus Stroman as the starters. Now, for me, I like the Phillies to win this game. I can't deny that Marcus Stroman's pitched well as of late, and he's got good numbers against his current Phillies lineup. In 130 plate appearances, a 269 xWOBA is very solid, but I still think that Suarez is the better option, even though he struggled in his last game against the Angels. He's got excellent numbers against his current Yankees lineup. 40 plate appearances with a 30% strikeout rate, no walks, and a 258 xWOBA. I think we're going to see a pitcher's duel for the most part, but I do expect the Phillies to do enough damage against Stroman and the Yankees bullpen to win this game in the end. So I lean towards the under, but I like the Phillies on the money line. Next up, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Detroit Tigers. We've got Kevin Gausman and Tarik Skubal as the starters. And the Blue Jays have won 4 of the last 5 starts for Kevin Gausman, but I still think that this is a lopsided pitching matchup and a situation where this is the stopper, this is the ace of the rotation, Tarik Skubal. These are the key spots for Detroit. It's not been a great start to the second half of the year, but I think their ace can really show up in this game, go 6-7 strong innings against the Blue Jays team. Has just been so-so against lefties in the last month. I think Skubal will be the better option in this game, even though Gausman's been solid as of late. He's given up at least 1 home run in 3 straight games. His control's been a little bit off this season compared to previous years. So I think the Tigers do enough offensively in this game to pick up the crucial victory. Lean towards the under, but also the Tigers on the money line. Next up, we've got the Diamondbacks and the Pirates. We've got Mr. Merle Kelly and Andrew Heaney as the starters. I think it was a good decision to trade Josh Naylor, and I've heard a report that the Diamondbacks are looking to trade 5 to 6 more players by the deadline, including Suarez, who's one of the big fish at the deadline. I think it's very smart for this organization. This is a good team, but not a great team. They've got a below 500 record. Their pitching's been atrocious, especially the bullpen. They're just not good enough to compete. Maybe they'd find themselves in a playoff spot, but definitely not a good enough roster with the teams in this National League. The Dodgers, the Mets, the Brewers, the Cubs, Phillies even, just miles ahead of this Diamondbacks team across the board, in my opinion. So I think it was a good decision. And, I think when you look at Josh Naylor, though, it doesn't really affect this specific game because Andrew Heaney, a lefty who's been struggling, Naylor was a left-handed batter. He struggled against lefties. 655 OPS against lefties this year. You don't really miss much from him in this specific game, and I think Kelly can pitch pretty well. I think the Diamondbacks, who've improved offensively against lefties, have a solid day offensively and win this game on the road. So give me Arizona on the money line. Next up, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cincinnati Reds. We've got Ryan Pepiot and Andrew Abbott as the starters. The Rays have not been great against lefties recently, and Andrew Abbott's having a great season, a 1.98 ERA at Great American Ballpark itself, this year, 4-1 record at home. His last game against the Mets, he was a quality start, 6 innings, 2 runs. Wasn't good enough for the win in that game, but still a good outing. He hasn't given up a home run in 2 straight games. I think he pitches well, and I think that the Reds can do enough damage against Pepiot. Pepiot's got a lot of potential. He's got great stuff. He's got great strikeout stuff, but his control's been an issue, both missing inside and outside the zone. We saw inside the zone last time, 3 home runs given up against the Baltimore Orioles in a 5-3 Rays loss, and now they've lost 4 of his last 5 games. I've got to roll the Cincinnati Reds in this one on the money line. Next up, we've got the Orioles and the Rockies. Everyone's favorite Rocky, Antonio Senzatella, on the mound for the road team, and Trevor Rogers going for the O's. Now, I really didn't see this from Trevor Rogers in 2025. We know he was, in 2021, a Rookie of the Year finalist in the National League. He had a 2.64 ERA that season in over 100 innings. But, just since then, the injuries and the underperformances just piled up. And even last year, at the Major League level, a 4.92 ERA in 124 innings of work. But this season so far, 41 1/3 innings, a 1.74 ERA. He's been missing some bats, a good whip as well. And he's got a good matchup here. I know the Rockies, when you look at the numbers on paper, good numbers against lefties in the last month, but a lot of those, really an overwhelming majority of those at-bats and plate appearances were at Coors Field on the road. That's just not the case. The Rockies have struggled against lefties and offensively in general. So I think Rogers pitches well, and I think that the Orioles can get to Senzatella for a few runs. He's got a 6.41 ERA overall this season, a little bit steeper on the road with a 1-7 record to go with it. Give me the Orioles in this one on the run line, maybe even laying 2.5 runs as well. Next up, we've got the Braves and the Rangers. We got Grant Holmes and Kumar Rocker as the starters. You look at the home and road splits for Kumar Rocker this season, they're pretty significant. An ERA on the road in 26 1/3 innings of 9.91 with a 1-4 record and a 354 opponent's batting average in 29 1/3 innings at home. So pretty similar, sample size. 3-0 record with a 1.84 ERA, 26 strikeouts, so just a little bit less than a strikeout per inning, but just one home run given up and a 187 opponent's batting average, 180-point difference in the opponent's batting average from the home and road splits for Rocker. I think he pitches well in this game, and he's pitching at Globe Life Field, and Grant Holmes was a starting pitcher we backed quite a bit at the beginning of the season, and while he hasn't necessarily been the most profitable, he still pitched well himself. Recently, though, he's not really been pitching that well. I mean, he had a quality start on paper in that last game against the Yankees, but only 2 strikeouts in 6 innings, a couple of walks, a home run given up, 7 base hits as well. And in this current state of this Braves offense, that's not good enough for a win. They lost that game 4-2. They've lost 4 of his last 5 games. I got to roll the Rangers in this one on the money line at Globe Life Field. Next up, the Battle of Chicago between the Cubs and the White Sox. We got Cade Horton and Aaron Savale as your starters. Now, this looks to be pretty good hitter-friendly weather, especially with the wind blowing out in this game. We should see a lot of home runs, I believe, in this matchup, especially with Aaron Savale on the mound. He is Mr. Home Run, Aaron Home Run Savale, as we call him, as that's just been the issue in his career. Is he's got good strikeout stuff, and usually, he can put together decent outings, but the way to get to Savale, similar to Nick Pivetta and other starting pitchers out there, is the home run ball. And before, a few years back, he was basically good almost every start for at least 1 home run given up. This year, he's done a little bit better, 58 2/3, 10 home runs, but he's given up 1 in 3 of his last 4 games. And now against this Chicago Cubs lineup, one of the best in baseball against righties, I think Savale could be in trouble. I also think that the young pitcher in Cade Horton could struggle a bit as well on the road. So give me the over, and I think the home run props for both of these teams are certainly worth a look. So, obviously, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker for Chicago for the Cubs. And on the White Sox, I'd say Colson Montgomery's worth a look. Next up, we've got the Marlins and the Brewers. We've got Jansen Junk and Jose Quintana as your starters. Now, Jansen Junk, he's pitched well so far for the Fish, but I do expect some regression going forward. I don't love the fact that he's really not missing a lot of bats recently. His last 12 innings of work, 3 strikeouts combined. His last 18 innings of work, 6 strikeouts combined. I just think you got to miss a little bit more bats to have success long-term in this league. And up against a tough Brewers lineup that already does a really good job at limiting strikeouts, working pitch counts, getting on base, stealing bases. This, to me, is a pretty much nightmare matchup for Jansen Junk. I think he's in trouble. I also think that while Jose Quintana also has regression concerns, and I don't think he's going to be able to hold a sub-4 ERA for the rest of the season, he's been A, a very profitable pitcher. The Brewers have won a lot of his starts. And B, a great matchup in this game. The Marlins have been dreadful against lefties this season and in the last 30 days. So for those reasons, I got to go with the Brewers here on the money line and run line. Next up, we've got the Athletics and the Astros. We've got Jacob Lopez and Hunter Brown as your starters. Not my favorite game on the board. I'm going to lean towards the Astros in this one on the run line, but I think Jacob Lopez is a solid starting pitching option. He's got a 4.6 ERA in 60 innings, but 75 strikeouts in those 60 2/3. And, he's had mixed results. Last game wasn't his best against the Rangers. That's why I don't really have a lot of faith in his game in this one, because the Astros have crushed lefties this year, and they're really tough offensively when they're playing at home. Also, Hunter Brown is a great option for Houston to start this game. So I'm going to lean towards the Astros and lay the 1.5 runs at home. Next up, we've got the Nationals and the Twins. We've got Mitchell Parker and Joe Ryan as your starters. Really wasn't loving the outlook for the 2025 campaign for Mitchell Parker in spring training, and we now see him 6-10 with a 5 ERA at this point in the year. We talked about his road struggles in 2024. They've carried over to 2025, a 1-5 record with a 6.46 ERA on the road. Facing a Twins team, it's crushed left-handed pitching in the last month. I just can't get there with the Nationals. This is a team we've backed plenty of times as road dogs this season, but this is not a great matchup in my opinion. Joe Ryan's been excellent this year, 2.63 ERA, 2.77 at Target Field. I got to go with the Twins on the run line in this one. Next up, the Dodgers and the Red Sox. We got Clayton Kershaw and Garrett Crochet, pair of lefties in this one. Now, the Red Sox in the last month, not the best numbers against lefties in terms of their OPS, but their isolated power numbers are still very steep, and they've been there for most of the season. I think that Crochet is the much better option in this game to start. I think the Red Sox bullpen's also good enough to hold a lead in this game. I think Crochet pitches pretty well, even though he has a tough matchup. I think the Red Sox find a way to win this game, so give me Boston on the money line at Fenway Park. Next up, we've got the Guardians and the Royals, Tanner Bybee and Chris Bubic as your starters. I think a lot of people in spring training would say they would expect these two starting pitchers' ERAs to be flipped at this point in the season, as Bubic has put together a ace-level season, 2.38 ERA in the 113 innings that he's pitched, and Tanner Bybee, not the best year for him, a 4.27 ERA above 5 on the road at 5.37. I think that Bybee has definitely shown some promise recently, and the Guardians have picked up his last 3 starts as victories, but Cleveland has not been very good against left-handed pitching overall in 2025. They have made some improvements recently, especially with their power numbers, but I think Bubic is the much better option in this game. I think the Royals can get to Bybee, and I think they win this game, so give me KC. Next up, we've got the San Diego Padres taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. We've got Matthew Liberatore and Randy Vasquez as the starters. I think we're going to see a high-scoring game in this one. I mean, Matthew Liberatore, 4.59 ERA at Busch Stadium this season, coming off a start against the Braves where he gave up 6 earned runs and 2 home runs in just 3 innings in a 6-5 loss. And the Padres have improved their numbers against lefties, low strikeout rate, decent OPS in the last month. I think Randy Vasquez on the other side could certainly give up some runs. I just don't think that his style of pitching is sustainable for an entire Major League Baseball season as a starting pitcher. He's got worse numbers on the road. He's got a 47-50 walk-to-strikeout ratio this year in 99 innings. He had no strikeouts his last game against the Marlins, just won the previous start against Arizona. I think he's in trouble. I think we go over the total in San Diego, St. Louis. Next up, we'll go to Oracle Park in San Francisco as the Mets take on the Giants with 2 lefties on the mound in this one, David Peterson and Robbie Ray. Now, I think this is going to be the opposite of what we just talked about with the Padres-Cardinals. I think we see a low-scoring game here. I mean, we know the Giants have been dreadful against lefties in 2025. The Mets have not been the best in the last month either against southpaws. You got 2 good left-handed starting pitchers with sub-3 ERAs on the season, 2 solid bullpens, in a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. I'm going to roll with the under in Mets-Giants. Next up, we've got the Seattle Mariners and the Los Angeles Angels. George Kirby and Tyler Anderson are your starters. I think we see a similar game in this one as we saw in the first game of the series. Kind of a boring, low-scoring game where Seattle finds a few runs here and there. The bullpen shuts it down and they win a close one, but a low-scoring game overall. I think that the Mariners' money line is worth it for me. I mean, George Kirby's not been the best his last couple of games, but I still think he's a good option for Seattle. And the Mariners have faced Anderson twice this season. The most recent start on June 8th, he wasn't great. 4 2/3, 94 pitches in those 4 2/3, so Seattle was able to work the counts. 8 base hits, 3 runs given up. I think Seattle does enough damage here to win this game. That was a 3-2 final score. Wouldn't surprise me to see 3-2, 4-2, 4-3 kind of range in favor of Seattle. So I'm going to take the Mariners in this one. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. And there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.